Welcome to the Monday Motivation with Eric and Friends podcast with your host, Eric S. King, featuring world-class speakers, coaches, and consultants. Join us every Monday as we dive into empowering conversations that motivate, inspire, and educate entrepreneurs. Kickstart your week with valuable insights that help you not just survive, but thrive. This is your go-to podcast to start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome everybody from around the world. My name is Eric F. King, and today we have Leah Garcia and Annie Osung here with me. Today we are starting, we're continuing from last time, the Monday morning motivation, right? Motivational Mondays. We've been doing this for 2 years now. Right? And we're here every single Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are so excited for our topic today. Our topic is the skills that matter most in 2026. The skills that matter most in 2026. You know, as you are building your business and living your life, they always say that if you keep doing what you've always been doing and you're expecting different results, that's definition of insanity, right? But one thing a lot of people don't talk about is the fact that you need new skills to get to new places, right? If you have the same skills as last year, you're gonna do the same this year. So that's why we decided to put this call together to help you to identify those skills, the most important skills for 2026, right? So you can focus on the right skills, all right? So without further ado, I am going to introduce our first speaker who hails from California, where it is 4:03 in the morning. That's right. She woke up this early just for you. She doesn't have to be here. She is super successful, but she's here to give you some nuggets, all right? We call her the Dynasty Builder. Why? Because she helps you make money, invest money, create generational wealth, all of that and more. So you want to definitely pick up her ebook. And in addition to that, she's also a black belt in karate, like a third degree black belt, right? What does that mean? She has a lot of discipline. She knows how to set goals and achieve them. And you don't want to mess with her. That's all. That's what it means. You don't want to mess with her. Because she will body slam you. Don't let the smile fool you. All right. So without further ado, let's go to Leah Garcia. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Eric F. King of Collaboration. This is an incredible topic. And listen, so many people told me not to do this podcast. They're like, what? You got to get up at 2:30 in the morning? What? You got to be alive and awake at 4 o'clock a.m.? What are you, crazy? What is this about? Why are you doing this? Is Eric paying you? They don't get it. Listen, when we've done what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always gotten. We all want more, but how many of us are willing to get uncomfortable and do things that other people won't? This is an incredible topic. The skills that matter most in 2026, it's going to require a new you. This is separation season. They're the people who are doing and the people who do not. We are the people who are doing. So I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets. Listen, let me say something first of all, though, like this is going to mess with your mind a little bit, okay? Because it's no longer about working hard. It's no longer about just showing up. You got to show up differently. Busy doesn't equal profits. Effort doesn't equal income. Skills do. Listen, this is about being skilled. It's not about being skilled. It's about being willing to do the repetition, even when it's boring, day after day after day. If I showed up here one time, you wouldn't remember me, but I'm here every single Monday, day after day after day. So I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets. Number 1, clarity is a revenue skill. You got to get super crystal clear. Clarity isn't a mindset fluff. It's a money skill. When you lack clarity, you choose and you chase way too many things. You overspend time. You underperform financially. Money follows focus. and focus requires decision. Confusion is expensive. Clarity compounds. The most profitable people I know don't do more, they do less with clarity. Clarity is cheaper than chaos and way more easier to maintain. Number 2, systems and automation are the silent income builders. Folks, there's no rainbows and puppy dogs here. I came here to give you the real deal. This is the glove, soft, pull back the curtains. This is the real stuff. We have to build systems. In 2026, you have to remember everything you do is everything you chase. If you have to chase everything, you don't have a business. You have a job. We are here to be entrepreneurs. Systems do 3 things. They save time, they reduce emotional decision-making, and they protect your energy, which protects your income. Automation is like setting your money on autopilot instead of hard work and hustle. Automation doesn't replace you. It rescues you. It rescues you from the chaos. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the strategy of our systems. If your income requires your constant presence, then your income has a ceiling. Listen, our income in 2026, we have to have the MPI. We got to have the MPI, which is a massive passive income. It's about automation, right? It's about that income that happens. You making money while you sleep. Number 3, leverage a team. Folks, you can't do it by yourself. Eric says all the time, no man is an island. Even a small team, even a part-time team, even if you have to barter system, you don't need a big team. You need the right support. In 2026, remote is normal, part-time is powerful. Delegation is a growth strategy. Every task you do that someone else could do cheaper is stealing from your highest income earning activities. Your income grows faster when you stop asking, what can I do? And start asking, what should I only do? This is where subtraction equals multiplication. You don't get paid to work hard. You get paid for results, and results require leverage. 2026 is about that MPI, right? Remember that massive passive income. So here's my challenge, my 3 challenges for you. Number 1, get crystal clear about your one priority that moves the needle. Number 2, what can you systemate or automate that repetitive task, that thing that you have to do over and over again every day and every week? And delegate one thing that drains your time, but is not your talent. Okay, what is that one thing? Because champions, listen, this is 2026. It's not about grinding harder. It's about thinking sharper, building smarter, and leveraging better. Listen, employees seek out overtime pay. That's not us. We are high achieving entrepreneurs and we're business owners. We get paid to think differently. And with that, I'm excited to hear from the rest of my esteemed panelists, and I hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right. Thank you so much. That was incredible. A great way to start the day, right? To start the week. Leah Garcia always brings a lot of value, and we appreciate you. All right, so we're going to keep going. By the way, if you haven't introduced yourself yet, definitely do so in the chat. Let us know where you're zooming in from today. We have people from all over the world, and we want to see them in the chat. I know Laverne said hi. Hello, Laverne. Good to see you. Coral from England says hi. All right, welcome. Carlene, welcome. Let's see who else. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people, but you're not. You haven't put anything in the chat. So just tell us where you're zooming in from. Nothing special. Just say, hey, good morning. I'm zooming in from wherever, right? Wherever you are, whether you are on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you are, or even YouTube. All right, so we're going to keep on going. And also think about your questions, because we are going to answer your questions later on in this broadcast. All right. So any questions you have about certain skills that you want to build, and if there's a certain skill that you want to build this year, put it in the chat. Say, this year I'm going to, and commit to it in front of the whole world. That is the best way to actually do it, in front of the whole world. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go to our next speaker. And our next speaker hails from Britain, London, England, and he has the accent to prove it. He is known as the fame expert. Why? Because he makes you famous online, right? Especially LinkedIn, right? He introduced me to the power of LinkedIn. I thought LinkedIn was a place where you just put up your resume, Oh Lord, I was missing out for years. I was missing out for years. And this gentleman introduced me to the power of it and how to connect with people, multiple people from all over the world, and how to write books, all kinds of things he does. But he's just a marketing genius, and that's what it comes down to. And without further ado, I don't want to steal his thunder. Any awesome, the floor is yours.
You're very kind, Eric. Thank you for your kind words, my friend. I'm blushing. I'm getting red now. Thank you so much for your kind words. Queen Leah, amazing shares. Look, I'll say this, my friends. I think today is going to be one that you have to put everything together, because everything we say, it counts. And there's many things, there's many skills that count. I haven't got time to go through most of the ones I want to get through, but let me give you my main ones. Look, as someone who's run a business, first thing I learned is that I know nothing about running a business. Running a business is a skill in itself. You need business skills. That's why we get coaches, right? You need a coach to help you learn business skills. Now, what sort of things do you need to learn? You need to learn how numbers work. When Leah talked about revenue earlier, how do numbers? What's profits? What's gross income? How does that differ from net? And how do you pay people? I'm saying these are just business skills that you must just learn, right? Delegation is obviously one of those business skills as well. There's many more. So I think, make sure you get business skills. However you're going to learn it, whether it's from a coach or from a course, you can learn by just doing. Of course you can, but don't rely on that. Go and get expert education. That way you can begin to do the right things. If you don't do the right things, your business is sunk. I promise you, right? The second one I'll say you need for sure is thinking skills. You have to think the right way. Most of our success, as Queen Leah said, is not down to our harder work. It's down to how we think. This includes mindset, of course, and having a growth mindset, positive mindset. So again, a lot of people will focus on their mindset. They go to every room on LinkedIn Lives talking about mindset. Yes, good for you. But, you have to begin to implement those skills. You have to begin to think differently. Otherwise, as Eric said at the beginning, he's going to turn up in the same place this time next year and wonder why nothing changed. Keep thinking the same thing, keep doing the same thing. Nothing changed. Yes, you're insane. That's what that means, right? If you want something different, think differently, and then do things differently. So that's two big ones. The one here now, there are a couple of really big ones. I think not many think about. Well, this one we should all think about, but a lot of people don't spend their time on it. I call it personal mastery. It's all right learning how to think, but one of the gems in business, one of the reasons why we survive, anyone here survives, is because there's something that we are so good at that others can't compete. Most people can't compete with us based on our technical skills. What are you good at that others can't compete with? That's your advantage, right? It feels like cheating, but if you're so good at something, then you're ahead of the game. You can just refine that skill over time, and you can make more, get more revenue because you serve more people. So find this thing, find your thing. I always talk about finding your way of doing what you do. Don't be scared to say this is my way. Even though it's something that say I publish books, for example, Eric, but I've got my way of publishing books. I've got my way of dealing with my clients. I've got the tools that I use. I'm saying, you dare to define your way. But if you don't find that differentiator, that skill that you have, that's competitive at the very least. That can beat many in the world. Anyone can do what you do. Sorry about that. That's just how that goes, right? Now, don't just focus on your thinking alone. Focus on your technical skills. You must get better, sharpen the sword every day, whatever that means to you, right? So the one thing I think a lot of people ignore these days, Eric, because we live in a fast-paced world, is what I call strategic thinking. You see, my friends, in business, in life as a whole. Someone explained it beautifully yesterday. I think Dr. Amaka said, look, we start 10 steps behind everyone else. Those who are successful are ahead of us before we will begin. Guess what that means, my friends? It means you must think 10 steps ahead. That's strategic thinking. You must think ahead of the game. What's coming? If I do this, what's going to happen? If I do that, what's going to happen? And just keep. Now you have to work out the game long before you actually get to play the game, right? Work out this now. Think strategically. Think long term. Think big, and think, in a way that will bring you what you want. Stop thinking of now, here and now, present. Now, like, yes, that's good for a bit, but it's not going to move you forward. You need to think strategically, think long term, think long game. That way you can almost cover the bases and make the right decisions for you. So last one I'm going to give you today, my friends, is left field maybe. It's about relationships. Look, I see people every day. They want to market stuff. They want to sell stuff. They want to do stuff. Yes, it's all good, right? But if you got no friends, no one's going to respond. People you work with are your friends. We're all friends here, Erica and Leah. If you've got no friends, business is so much harder. Make real friends. Learn what that means. And then you see the results. I'll leave it there, Eric.
All right. Thank you so much, Annie. We appreciate that. Great tips as always. All right, we're going to keep on going. We see a lot of people in the chat. So if you haven't said hi, say hi. Let me see if I can pull some people. Thomas, good to see you. Welcome. We have Eric Doby in the house. Welcome, Eric. Good to see you. Welcome. Let's see. Good morning to who else? I saw somebody here. Veronica, good morning. She's the Elite Global Leadership Club. That just sounds good. That just sounds like you want to be a part of that. Like, I want to be a part of that. Elite Global Leadership Club. All right. Welcome, everybody. Definitely put in the chat where you are, okay? Wherever you are in the world, let us shout you out, okay? And if I don't say your names, because I don't see you. All right. So let's keep going. And also, definitely, Victoria, welcome. Also, put your questions in the chat. If you have a question, just put the word question and then type out your question. All right. Good. All right. So let me share a few things with you. I'm going to focus on four skills, okay, that I believe you need to be successful in 2026. Okay. 4 major skills. Okay. So the first one is this. You have to learn AI. Yep, I said it. AI is scaring people. Look, when social media came out, because I remember, and I'm sure Nadia does too, and Eddie, when social media came out, some of us said, you know what? I don't think I need that. I think I'm just right. I don't want to have to learn something new, so I'm not going to be a part of that. But guess what? People that said that were left behind. They were left behind. The internet, the same thing. They were left behind. So if you say, well, AI, I hear a lot about it, but I'm not really into that, you're going to be left behind, right? So you want to learn AI. You want to learn how you can use it to your benefit in your life and your business. Right, your life and your business. All right, so definitely want to do that. Get trained. Don't, instead of being afraid of it, dive into it, learn it, find out how it can benefit you, right, moving forward, and how it can benefit your family. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is you want to hone your skills as a communicator, right? Communication is powerful, right? Like I meet with speakers, coaches, and authors every day. Right, some of them sometimes 5, 6, 7 people a day, and they all say the same thing. They want more people to notice them. They want more attention, right? But how can they do that? It's through communication, right? Whether you're communicating on calls like this, whether you're speaking at events, one to many, whether you're sending an email, it's communication. Whether you're posting online, it's communication, right? So you want to get better at communication, and the area that you need help in, right? Whether it's public speaking, right? Take a public speaking class. Start doing it. Don't just talk about it, but do it, okay? So communication is key. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, and this one is very, very specific, and I think it's very important. You want to create authority. One of the best ways to create authority is to write a book. Write a book, at least an ebook, right? It doesn't, it doesn't have to be a physical book. It could be an ebook, right? But it creates authority, right? Look, I was teaching for years and years and years, but then when I wrote a book, people saw me more as the expert, right? And then you go on a podcast and they're like, so, he wrote a book, right? So, and you separate yourself, because I don't know the statistics, Annie probably knows it, but I know at least 80% of people do not have a book, right? And you probably agree with that. At least 80% of people do not have a book. And there are tens of thousands of people that have a book in their head, or they have a chapter or two written out, or they have 16 chapters, but they don't have a book, right? So, and we're going to help you with that. Annie definitely helps you with that. So write a book, either a book or an ebook or a physical book, right? And it's easier now than before. Back in the day, you had to go find a publishing company. Remember those days? And you had to go find a publishing company and then send your manuscript out and then get rejected over and over and over. I mean, I heard horror stories. Now you can just create it and put it on Amazon. All right, that's number 3. And then number 4. This is a 2 for 1. All right, you need the right mindset to create wealth for yourself and your family, right? The right mindset. Why do I say that? Because everybody wants to be rich. Everybody says, "Oh, I want to be rich." But if that was enough, we'd all be rich. Why are most people broke? Because they don't have the right mindset, right? How do you acquire the right mindset? Is by getting around people like Leah Garcia, connecting with her, listening to her, right? And to build that mindset necessary to become wealthy. And I'm not just saying having money in the bank. No, become wealthy and creating generational wealth. Don't just do it for yourself. That's selfish. Do it for your family, right? Do it for your family, right? So create that mindset. Like I'll give you an example. So people say that that rich people are evil. Like some people have that mindset that rich people are evil, right? Or the love of money is the root of all evil, right? We hear that, I guess it's in the Bible, right? But people misconstrue things like that, words like that, and phrases like that, to think that it's bad to have money. It's not. People say, well, money doesn't buy you happiness. Well, you haven't had enough money. That's why you're saying that. If you make, if you make enough money, trust me, you'll realize that money does buy happiness. Now, it's not everything. Money is not everything, right? Money is not everything. But it does buy you happiness. And it buys your family happiness. It buys your friends happiness. Trust me. I'll tell you a 2-minute story. I have a friend named Darnell. He lives in Maryland. And when I knew him, I've known him for like 20 years, right? So I knew him when he was in his 20s. I was in my 20s. And back then, he was just, trying to make ends meet. He didn't have much money, right? So he got married to this young lady, and they were broke. But he's an entrepreneur. He kept focusing on his dream, to build his business. Fast forward 20 years later, he's a multimillionaire now. And he called, by the way, I forgot to say this. His in-laws used to make fun of him because he was trying to just build businesses from home, and he never made enough money. So they said that's a pipe dream. But he had the mindset of a millionaire. So now he's a millionaire. And he calls up his in-laws and say, hey, we want to have a 20-year anniversary in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and we want the whole family to come down. And everybody was giving him an excuse, right? Well, we don't have the time. We can't take off of work. All of the, they don't have the money. That's all it was, right? So guess what he said? He said, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm paying for everything. I'm paying for all your flights, your hotels, everything. Guess what? All of a sudden, they got time on their schedule. He flew about 40 people down there, right? To have a great time. because he had the money, because he had the right mindset to build the wealth, to have the money. And guess what? They're all happy and they like him now. It even helps with the relationships, right? So my point is, money buys happiness. Find a way to make more for yourself and your family. All right. So those are the 4 that I want to share with you. Good to see you, Robert. Oh, Robert Kennedy's in the house, my good friend. Look, Robert Kennedy is one of the best speakers you'll ever find in the world. That dude. Yeah, he spoke on my stage, I believe it was last year. And he's a CSP with National Speakers Association. If you want a speaker that will just wow the crowd, you want to talk to Robert Kennedy. All right, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. All right, okay. So we're gonna keep going. Rabiatu, welcome. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna promote an event that's gonna help you. I'm going to promote an event right now that's going to help you to level up your skills. So look, if you're like, look, Eric, I have somewhere to go. I'm really busy right now. I need to jump off. Hold on for 4 minutes. Okay? Don't drop off. This is not the time to drop off. Okay? Yeah, I said it. Don't drop off. All right, here we go. I have put together a stellar group of 15 speakers that will be sharing their expertise at the Impact and Influence Studio event. It's absolutely free, online. I just dropped it in the chat. And here's the deal. I've been doing events since 2001, so I know how to put together events. And I've been working with a lot of skilled people, right, over the years. But this will be the best event I've ever done in my life. And why? Because we are going to give you more value than we've ever done before. Ever. I'm going to run down real quick some of the skills you're going to learn. 15 speakers, 15 industries, right? Look, here we go. You're going to learn about time relations. You're going to have a time relations coach. So if you go through the whole day and you never get enough done, she's going to show you. It's not about time management. It's about time strategy. She taught me that, okay? We're going to learn from that. A resilience coach will be there. You're going to learn about resilience, right? We have a lady that's talking about wealth, how to build generational wealth. You're going to learn that. We have a wonderful lady from North Carolina who is an AI expert, one of the best on the planet. So if you've ever wanted to learn about AI, you need to come to this event. Click on the link, successwitheric.com/impact and influence. Just click on the link. Coral, if you can put it in LinkedIn, because I know it's on YouTube and Facebook. So put it on LinkedIn. And look, if you don't see it, just message me. No excuses. No excuses for your success, right? How would you like to sit in a room with your children or your grandchildren 20, 30 years from now? And they're asking you, why is it that we live like this? Why are we always broke? Why is it that we don't have what our friends have? Like, why is it that the things people talk about, all these new technologies, we don't have? And how would you like to tell them that? Well, I had the opportunity to learn back in the day, but I just didn't take it seriously. So here's the deal. I want you, instead, 20, 30 years from now, to sit down with your children, to sit down with your grandchildren, and tell them, look around. Look around. You see what we've done, right? Because I learned the skills. We put it in action, and our lives have never been the same. All right. So again, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn from an AI expert. Look, I have a Harlem Globetrotter, a former Harlem Globetrotter. For those of you that are too young to understand, they're the best basketball players in the world. Basically, they come together, right? You'll see it. He's gonna teach you how to exercise every day without going to the gym. You can do it from home. He'll show you how to do that. Okay, you're gonna learn that. You're gonna learn from an incredible speaker. She is a speaker coach, one of the best in the world. She's gonna be there, and I'm not even telling you their names because I want you to click on the link and find out. Click on the link and you will see them. You will see all their pictures and you're like, oh, I know this person. She's on TV. Like, I know this person. Click on the link. You're gonna learn about book writing, like we're talking about. Annie was talking about. You're gonna learn from a book writing coach who's helped thousands of people to write books. Right. You're gonna learn from a leadership coach in New York. Oh my goodness, I follow her every day, and I watch her videos, and it helps me in my life. And I said, look, I need her to share with you what she shares with her audience. Okay. And then several more, about 15 different industries. Click on the link to register. If you haven't registered, register. And look, you want to register right now. Don't say, well, Eric, I'll get to it, because you won't. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help because I know you procrastinate. How do I know? Because I procrastinate. Yeah. I procrastinate, right? So it only takes a second to register, and it's free. Now, obviously, if you want more, there's always an option where you can upgrade and get more. Like, actually, I recorded an audio, 50 ways to stay motivated every day that I've been using for the last 25 years. People say it blows them away. If you want to get that, you can get that also. And then there are recordings of our last events and all kinds of stuff. So if you want that, you can get that. It's very inexpensive, but you don't have to. You can come in for free, absolutely free. So that's what I want to share with you. Don't say I didn't help you this year. Don't say Eric did not give you some value this year. Don't say that, because look, 15 people from all over the country and Canada. Oh, the lady from Canada, she will teach you about courageous conversations, how to have the right conversations with family and friends to build your relationships. She's incredible. That's why we're flying her down from Canada, right? All right, so I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for you, for what we put together. So click on the link and register. So now we're going to go to my great, thank you, Leah. Thank you, Leah. I always tell people, clap for yourself, right? Because when I started in this business and I started doing events, nobody showed up for my events. And I would just stand up and give my speech and clap for myself. I'm like, Eric, that was incredible. Wow, I can't wait till people show up. So all right. So we're gonna get to Leah and Annie because I want to hear from them. I want them to tell you what they do, how they can help you, what they have going on, and then we'll get to your questions. All right, so let's start with the great Leah Garcia.
Thank you so much, Eric F. King. And yes, you got to take a moment to rah yourself, right? We got to clap for ourselves. We got to be our biggest cheerleader before other people start to notice you. That's just the way it is. You got to be willing to do that. So my name is Leah Garcia, and I am the Dynasty Builder. And if you would like to learn about that family dynasty, how can you build that family dynasty? I would love to talk to you. You can also visit my website right here, my QR code, which is an interactive website. You can take a money quiz. You can find some missing money. How many of you have some missing money? You can do it. It's free. And I host Wealthy Wednesday Live every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm always looking for incredible guest speakers. So if you're not ready for Eric's big stage yet, but you want to start out on a smaller stage, I'd love to chat with you. Let's enjoy a no-pitch coffee chat. And hand back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right. Let's go to Annie. Annie Alsong, go ahead.
I'm having fun doing what I do best, my friends, which is publish people's books. Have some write their books as well. So you wouldn't know I wrote the book. It's just it's what we do. Call it what you like. Ghostwriting, writing, coach, all of that in one, right? So my real fun today. I've mentioned it a few times in this event in previous weeks. Today is a day for our workshop, our From Plan to Profit workshop with Dr. Paula Washington. So about taking people from zero to hero, like literally from inactivity, from being stuck to actually taking action. By knowing these steps you have to take and committed to take those steps. If you're going to come to the workshop today, let's say 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK, then get book now, my friends. Otherwise, your time is gone. Yeah, if you're interested, it's a paid workshop. So don't come begging and say, "Annie, can we do it for free, please?" That's not going to work, right? It's a paid workshop. So click on the link. I'll just share the link. Come along and let's activate your plan for 2026.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you said that. I used to be one of those people that thought I can get all this information and become, great at what I do for free. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay anybody. But guess what? I wasn't making any money either. So I stayed there, right? But then when I started paying people for their services, and then I started to level up. So yeah. So I mean, you could start free. You could come to like events like this, but then eventually you would have to invest in something, right? You would have to invest in something. All right. So good to see you. Let's see. King Property Dealer. I don't even know your name, but that's a good way to promote yourself, King Property Dealer. That's a good way to promote yourself. Yeah, I'm impressed. Arthur, good to see you, Arthur. Let's see. Welcome, Arthur. Good to see you. Let's see. I know there's somebody I saw here. Natalie, good to see you. Maybe I'll say Festus. Good to see you. All right. So let's keep going. So now, the great Paula Washington is in the house. I was listening to her the other day. She's brilliant. She knows a lot. She got the MBA, MS. It shows. She's a smart woman for sure. All right, so let's do this. Let's go to the questions. I'm going down the line here. Give me a second. See if we have questions. 1 second. Okay, here's one. What skill do you use? Okay, well, I think we answered that. Let me keep going. Okay. So Coral from across the pond says, from your perspective, which skill helped you remain effective across different platforms? Which skill allowed you to remain effective across different platforms? All right. So as always, I would like for my speakers to share whatever, whatever way they perceive that question to pertain to them, to share. We'll start with Leah and then Annie, then I'll be back. Go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Coral. And I kind of learned this in kindergarten. Learn how to make friends. And I make friends on other platforms, and then I invite them over to LinkedIn because that's my strongest platform. And I've been able to really secure many guest speakers through doing that. And I would also say be really, really good at showcasing others. So it's one thing to go on and just start telling people, come and buy your widget. It's another thing to notice what they're doing, compliment them on how they're showing up, their videos, their training, their expertise. And that's a great way to open up that conversation on any platform. Like that's true on any platform. And with that, we'll hear from our great godfather, Mr. Ennie.
It's a great question, Coral. I guess, look, here's the reality. You can't be a star on every platform. Sorry about that. Yes, we live in a multi-platform world, omni-channel world, but you can't be a star on Facebook, a star on LinkedIn, a star on TikTok. It's not going to happen, right? Unless you maybe if you put the work in. It comes back to what Queen Leah was saying, really. If you make real friends, you're away. But my tip is simply you have to be visible. If you don't turn up consistently on the platform, nothing's gonna happen. They'll see you, they'll forget you instantly, right? I'm saying turn up consistently and engage with people, engage with them. I don't waste time on many of the other channels because I'm not there to engage. I post and run. More for me. LinkedIn's my home. LinkedIn's where I've always been. LinkedIn's where I make all my friends and all my rewards and all my impact. So I stay there. Thank you very much. And choose wisely, maybe is what I'm going to say to you, right? And then be there. Eric, that's you, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I agree. with both of them. Now, for me, I'm on different platforms. So I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, right? And I post on them. But here's the deal. I'm mostly on LinkedIn, but then I repurpose on everything else. right? So even though Annie said, like, you don't have to be an expert at everything, that's true. I am not an expert at them all. But I repurpose. You know why? Some of my speakers see me on TikTok. That's where they find me, right? Some of them find me on Facebook, right? Now, even though I'm not there a lot, but you want to repurpose. You want to be as many places as you can so people can see you, because you don't know where your next client is going to be, right? You don't have to be an expert at everything. I'm not an expert at TikTok. I don't dance and everything, so don't look for me dancing on TikTok. Even though I do like to dance, but not on TikTok. Sometimes I dance at my events. So hey, show up for the event. You see me dance a little bit. Sometimes I dance at my events. But yeah. So you should be on the platform where most of your audience is. My audience are people that want to level up their life, right? People that I believe in personal development. That's my audience. Entrepreneurs, people that want to build businesses, make money, help people. That's my audience. And they are on LinkedIn for sure. Now, are they on the other platforms? Yeah. But mostly they are, on LinkedIn, because that's where they do business, right? So again, focus, be just an expert, I would say, maybe on one or two, an expert, but then repurpose your information, because I can put one video on 5 platforms at one time. You can do that now, right? And that's power. That's called leverage, right? You want to learn leverage, all right? Well, and I'm going to talk about that, by the way, at the event, leverage, all right? So, I don't think I told you guys the date. It's January 26th and 27th. I figured you're just going to register anyway. But anyway, it's January 26th and 27th, in 2 weeks. Okay, I'm going to be going up to North Carolina. All the speakers will be in studio. Yeah, and follow me too. Follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram, because I'm going to show you videos of my speakers as we get closer. I may even show you our hotel, all of that. Just so follow us. All right, so let's go to another question here. Let's go to another question. And by the way, folks, if you see a question that I don't see, let me know, okay? Because sometimes I just don't see it like you guys do. Okay, here we go. So Coral says, which skill helped you to manage pressure, right? Manage pressure. We have a lot of pressure in life. Pressure could be in business. Pressure could be on the home front, right? Some of us are in businesses and our spouse or significant other, they're not on board. They're like, I think you just need to get a good job because this whole entrepreneurship stuff is not working. So yeah, I know some of you are on the line and that's what you're thinking right now. So yeah, so there's a lot of pressure on business and personal life, and let's talk about it. So we'll go with Leah, and then right after, Annie can jump in.
Yeah, that's a great question, Coral. And for me, it's about having the ability to focus. You need the ability to block out other things and really get rid of the noise. And the other part to that is pressure. When I think of pressure, I think of actually that's kind of something that you can turn into your energy, right? It's that some of us love that adrenaline. Most of us probably do, because we're entrepreneurs. So if you can find a way to focus that's why I do martial arts, right? I need to get that out. So find something to get sweaty, and maybe that'll help. Great question, Coral. Hand it over to you, Godfather.
That's always, Coral. Look, I guess we can say many things. I think for me, and I learned about mindset. Calm your mind. Realize the reality of running a business. It's full of challenges, full of things that go wrong, but nothing goes wrong really. I think, and we'll say that's a way of thinking that we'll all have to learn. You can't be anxious all day, every day, right? You can't always be in crisis. If you work on your mindset, your self-awareness, and also how don't be so reactive. Don't be emotionally chaotic. Find your peace, and then you realize everything comes for a reason. Everything can be handled by just doing the right things. That's pressure, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So for me, I look at it this way. The more you enjoy what you do, the less pressure you have, right? So find something that you really believe in. I tell people, when I was working at a job, I've had jobs that on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like at 8 or 9 in terms of stressed out. Like, and I don't say 10 because 10 is like nervous breakdown, you know, you get sick or something like that, right? But I was close. I was close, right? So that was it's pressure because I was doing something that I wasn't really passionate about, but I had to do it well, right? Right. I was scale of again 8 or 9. Now in my business, I have tasks I have to do every day, but the highest on the scale of 1 to 10 that I have been stressed is probably a 3 because I love this stuff. I love it. Right? I love getting on the phone at 11 p.m. helping somebody finish their complete their presentation that they're going to present. I love this stuff, right? So if you do what you love, you don't have as much pressure. Now I want to address one thing real quick. For those of you who are in a business and your family does not support you or your friends, because I used to be there. That was many years ago, right? Um, Here's what I would say: double down, get more serious about your business. Take it seriously. When I had small kids, my kids, I have 3 sons and they're teenagers now, and I'm proud of all of them. Smart, ambitious young boys. But when they were kids, when they were babies, they all wanted to be around me. They all wanted to, be on my leg and everything. So I would close the door to my office and I put a sign on the door, and I would say, "Daddy will be will talk to you, or Daddy will hang out with you at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock." I'll put it on there so that they asked the mom, "Is it 8 o'clock yet? Is it 8 o'clock yet? Is it what?" But they knew that I was serious between that time. Like, you can't play. I'm not playing. Right? You got to be serious. If your family sees how serious you are, they'll get on board. And then you have to start making money. Let me be real. You got to start making money. Because if you don't make any money, they'll be like, "Look, this is not working." Right? Make something. Move forward. Right? So what I would say is make sure you get serious about what you're doing. Show them don't, when you're at work, you don't take calls. Right? "I'm at work, call me back." But then you're building a business and you're taking calls from everybody. No, I'm doing my business. I don't take calls, right? Right? Because if you don't show how serious you are, nobody will take you seriously. They won't take you seriously. I was just so focused and so serious that people like, "Don't mess with him. He's doing his business right now." Right? And that led to helping hundreds of people, even thousands, including people that just listen to my videos, right? So I want to share that real quick. I know that's not exactly what you asked, but I thought I would share that. One of the ways to manage pressure is to associate and align yourself with people that are in your shoes, right? So if you're a coach and speaker, join a mastermind of coaches and speakers. Right. When I want to write my book, I didn't have it up here. I didn't know anything about writing books. Right. So it was pressure because I didn't know what to do. I joined a group of book writers. Right. It made it easy. Because every time I got on the call, someone says, "Hey, I just sold another 10 copies. I just sold another 100 copies. I'm a best-selling author." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I could do this." Right? So hang around people that have your answers, not people that just have questions. People that have your answers. All right? All right, so let's keep going. Let's see what other questions.
There was a question I think it was like, Colleen, what is the one skill you need in 2026? I think that was Carlene.
Okay, let's go with it.
I'm going to say the one skill you need in 2026 is the one skill you have been avoiding. If you are not good at public speaking, then you need to learn how to be a public speaker. If you're not really good on social media, you need to learn how to get good on social media. You know what that one thing is. It's the one thing you've been avoiding that you're like, I'll learn it next time. No, this is the year, right? We got to get super, super clear. And that clarity is going to come from doing the things that we've been avoiding in all these other years. So great question. Hand it over to you, Godfather.
Just one. That's a hard one, right? It really is hard. I'd probably say, build those relationships. So you'd be amazed how the people we hang around with, our friends, determine what will become really. So you hang around with people who support you, people who elevate you, people who inspire you. Call it a mastermind. That's what you really want. Be friends with people in the high achieving mastermind. Your results will change. Well, a lot of people don't make real friends. They hear it and they turn up in a shallow kind of way, as if the online world is not full of people. They think we're full of, I don't know, machines, robots, AI. No, we're not AI. Make real friends, real emotional attachments with people. Those people will come. They'll serve you more than you ever can. But literally, unless you make those friends, you think I'm just talking, right? It's fine.
Yes, great points, great points. Thank you so much to both of you. I just want to address something I saw right here with Coral said. Coral said, let me see. Well, let me pull this up. She said, money definitely does buy happiness because I help and bless my mom. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's another thing, folks. It's not all about your happiness, right? Like my mom is 80 years old and she gets whatever she wants. Whatever she wants, money is not an issue, right? So some of you have parents are still working a job and they're frustrated. Retire them. Just so don't when I talk about money, I don't say it in a selfish way. I'm not talking about buying a Rolls Royce and a Bentley. I'm talking about helping people, right? I was I was on the soccer field with my son, my 13-year-old, and he has a friend who is very good. He's a very good soccer player, just like him. They're both very good, and they had a tournament coming up, but you have to pay extra money for that tournament. So my son asked him, "Are you going to be a part of the tournament?" And he said, "No." He said, "I can't." He said, "My mom said we can't afford it." So my son told him that, "Don't worry, my dad got you. He'll pay for it." Now, I'm a little mad that he volunteered my money, but he's right. He knows I would. So anyway, I end up paying for him to be in the tournament. And it blessed him and his family, it blessed his mom, it blessed him, right? It made them happy, right? So think about money as a way to help the people around you, even if it's not for you, to help the people around you. And yeah, thank you so much. And for people that say, well, it's not, money's not that important. It's okay. Like, I don't. It's not a debate. Like, sometimes I literally have people online sending me messages about it. I'm like, I'm not debating you. If you don't want to make it, it's good. Okay, right? I'm not. It's not. I'm not debating you, right? Because whenever you have a strong opinion about something, you will attract some people and you'll repel a lot of people. So I don't mind repelling people. I don't mind repelling people. You get good at repelling people if you believe in something, right? Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? It's okay, right? But whatever you believe, go for it. Go all out. All right. So we got like 4 minutes. Let's see. I think we can do one more question. Let's
There was
see.
another
Leah,
question.
go
What is
ahead.
the underestimated skill? I'm not sure if you missed that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I saw that. Here we go. All right. So the great Carlene says, which skill do you believe is most underestimated right now, but will be essential by 2026 or right now? That's a great question. So in a minute or so, Leah and Annie, share your thoughts.
Fantastic question. And everybody wants to be a speaker. Everybody wants to have people listen to them. But I think the most essential, underrated skill is our listening skills. How good of a listener are you? And not just listening to the words that people say, but listening to what they don't say. Be really, really clear about what people are not saying. And I think those that can be a great listener and then repurpose that are going to really compound in 2026. Great question, Carlene.
Like compounding, really. Look, I think being emotionally mature probably been like one of the biggest skills that we haven't mentioned today. So in business, in life, it's easy to react, but those who learn to control their emotions see the benefits. I certainly have. See, when someone doesn't pay you, it's easy to go into I used to go into a rage. Now I've learned it's just much better to calm yourself, and then say, right, let me call them. Let me see why they haven't paid. Someone doesn't do what you want them to do. Don't get angry. Someone does something you don't like. Don't get angry, because I think negative emotions kills all our positivity. Now learn to put yourself in a peaceful place and just deal with issues as you have to. If you can deal with issues with love, even better for you. You find, trust me, I assure you, that's how the world really works. Now, your emotional maturity and resilience will help you go a long way.
Very good, very good. I will tell you a skill that I've developed over the last 25 years, which will help you in what you do. Is the skill of edifying people, right? Build people up. You know, people want to work with you when you build them up, right? Like, okay, I was talking about Robert Kennedy. Like, he didn't pay me to promote him, right? But I build people up, and that's why people want to be around me, right? That's why people want to work with me. That's why people want to be my client, right? Learn to build people up. Learn to make friends. Make friends. There's a book called Win Friends and Influence People. I think I read that like 20 something years ago. It's probably more than that, but I don't want to tell you guys how old I am. It's longer than 20 years. That's it. Yes. Yeah, that's the book. Go read that book if you haven't read that book, right? Because we can talk about AI, we can talk about all kinds of stuff, but it really comes down to your relationship with people. Get to know people. Be friends with people. When you meet someone and you're trying to sell your product and they're not interested or they don't have the money, don't just change your demeanor and get off the call. Be friend. It doesn't matter. Say, you know what? I'm glad we met. Maybe not now, maybe later, right? So learn how to build relationships, win friends, and influence people, and build people up, right? A lot of people like to tear people down because they think it makes them feel better. No. And there's no competition. Like, one guy spoke on my stage. I'm trying to remember his name now. But anyway, this guy spoke on my stage, right? And he is a sales expert, right? Shay Brown. He's a sales expert, and I edified him like he walks on water and glows in the dark. And people say, "Well, Eric, isn't he your competitor?" I'm like, competitor? There's no such thing. Have an abundance mentality. Right? Shay can be an 8-figure earner and I can be an 8-figure earner. It doesn't matter, right? There's no competition. Nobody does what you do like you do it. Okay, so go out there this week, believe in yourself, know that there's no one can compete with you because no one is like you. All right, so I'm going to end on that note, and don't forget to register for the event, because this event is going to be epic in 2 weeks. I can't wait. It's going to be epic. I'm going to my tailor. I'm going to get a new suit for this, just for you all, brand new suit, because I want to look sharp. I want to look sharp for you guys. All right. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Well, I'll see you here in a week, right, on our call, but I'll see you in the Zoom room in 2 weeks. I'll put it in the chat again. It has been a privilege and a pleasure, a plum-pleasing pleasure to be with you here this morning once again. And we look forward to seeing you next week and the weeks after that. All right. Take care, everybody. Make it a great day. Bye-bye. All right.